who benefits if we bomb Iran? This is scary. Okay,
Yeah.
Here's the latest. We have the largest force amassed in the Middle East since 2003. The deployment is unlike anything the U.S. has done since 2003 when it amassed the forces behind the invasion of Iraq. We've shifted more than 150 aircraft to bases in Europe and the Middle East. I don't know how you pronounce it, but there's an air base we have in Jordan that's been a key destination for U.S. air assets streaming into the region. More than 60 warplanes were visible in satellite imagery taken Friday. More than a dozen F-35 fighter jets lined up on a tarmac. Roughly a third of all active U.S. ships are now in the region. Warships in the area also equipped with hundreds of Tomahawk missiles. Aircraft carriers accompanied by guided missile destroyers and various aircraft and helicopters. The USS Abraham Lincoln, USS Gerald R. Ford. The Lincoln has not publicly broadcast its location for more than a week, but it's believed to be operating somewhere near Oman. Gerald R. Ford spotted off the Greek island of Crete on Monday. And I could go on. Somewhere Lindsey Graham just got a chill down his spine, and that special little feeling just at the list of that military buildup. Tucker, you're having a different feeling. So am I. I don't get it. I got to be honest. I don't get it. Because we were just told by the president in July, I covered it at length, you didn't want him to go into Iran with those bombs in July. We did. I was fine with it. That I was like, whatever. Okay, fine. Let's take out the military facility or the nuclear facility. And then when they said they destroyed it, I didn't know. I saw the conflicting reporting on whether we did or we didn't. But the president certainly said we did. And now here we are 6 months later saying we have to go back in to stop the nuclear program. The one that we just allegedly bombed and destroyed a few months ago.
Right.
I watched a debate on Piers Morgan today with two pro-Israel folks and two anti. And the pro-Israel woman was saying, yeah, Israel benefits. This is definitely good for Israel. Of course we want this.
Right.
I accept that. I've heard you say on your show, great, no problem. Yeah. But what do we get out of it? Like, that's fine for them to want it and advocate. What do we get out of it? Why is President Trump considering this?
I don't think the president wants to do it. I think he's been really clear about that. I spoke to him the other day. He didn't say anything to me that he doesn't say in public all the time. Trump is amazingly transparent in that way. I've spoken to him a lot. I speak to him regularly a lot. And he never says anything that he wouldn't say in the middle of a speech. You know, there's no there's no secret agenda that I've ever detected. And he said, I don't want to do this. I want a diplomatic solution. I don't want to go to war. I ran against going to war. I don't want Iran to have a nuclear weapon. That's what he says in public and in private, on the phone and in person and on stage. And so I believe it. Iran doesn't have a nuclear weapon. It doesn't have the means to get a nuclear weapon. If it had a nuclear weapon to the United States, Mark Levin said 3 days ago in his podcast, they've got nuclear-tipped ICBMs. That's a lie. He should be removed from his job for saying that because it's untrue, and he knows it's untrue. This is not about protecting the United States.
Among many other reasons.
Well, that's right. But this is incredibly high stakes. I mean, I could go on for an hour about what could go wrong in this war if it takes place. I think it's likely to take place, but it's not assured. The president decides, and he has not made that decision. But all things being equal, it will happen. And you could see massive disruption to the U.S. economy. You could see a lot of Americans die. There are tens of thousands in the region, both military and non-military. And you could see some of our closest allies in the world, the Gulf states, who supply the energy for civilization around the world, you could see them disabled by this. And then you could see massive refugee crises around the world because the plan is to take out the leadership of Iran, but there's no plan after that. So it would be an open wound, 92 million people on a huge landmass, and that would continue the invasion of Europe by immigrants. A lot of them would wind up in the Gulf states directly across the Persian Gulf, and a lot of them would wind up here in the United States. So there's kind of no upside, but here's the way to think about it. We're looking at it through the wrong frame. This is not about protecting the United States, obviously. It's not about even protecting Israel. If you're Israel and your main goal is not to get hit and to keep your cities safe, the last thing you're going to do is try to provoke Iran into lobbing ballistic missiles into your country. You would never do that. No, this is about sweeping away any opposition to Israel's regional hegemony. Israel believes, as the only nuclear-armed power in the Middle East, that it should have control over the region. And by the way, I'm not attacking them. Every nuclear-armed power feels that way. We feel that way. What's going on in South America? We have a right to weigh in on that because we're the big dog. They feel that way. And what stands in their way? Well, Iran primarily, also Turkey, and then the 6 Gulf energy-producing monarchies, primarily Qatar, because they're disobedient. They don't follow Israel's lead on a lot of different things. And this war, and of course the United States, because the United States is constantly telling Israel, you can do this, you can't do that. Trump's like, no, you can't take over the entire West Bank and kick all the Christians out or whatever. The United States is a constraint on Israel. So they want the U.S. out of the region. Why wouldn't they? And they're, of course, pivoting to India. Israel has decided it needs a superpower to exist. It's only 9 million people. It's a really small country. So they have to be in alliance with a larger nuclear-armed power. They have to, or they won't exist. And they've picked India. Prime Minister Modi was in the Knesset yesterday and meeting with Netanyahu yesterday. And that is the plan. Israel will pivot from the United States to India. And I don't think anyone's even pretending that's not happening, because support for Israel in the United States is going down. So this is the last opportunity for Israel to use the U.S. military to sweep away one of the few remaining speed bumps on the way to controlling the entire Middle East and having hegemony. And what does that mean? Well, Israel would like to expand its borders through the Levant into Syria. They're already taking land there, and into Lebanon, same thing. And maybe even extending farther north from that. But Israel wants to be physically larger. Every country does. We do. This is just a feature of human nature. But they want to be larger, and they can't, because Iran's in the way, Qatar's in the way, the U.S. is in the way, and Turkey's in the way. So one by one, they're diminishing them. Does anyone think America will be stronger after this war? Of course not. America will be weaker. We can't afford it. We have no money.
We don't know how long it will last.
Of course
All the reports in the news are that even Dan Raisin Kane, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs, has been saying this could easily spin into a very prolonged quagmire. President Trump truthed out, that's not true. He'll do whatever I ask him to. He's ready to go. All he knows how to do is win. But I mean, it's been reported in multiple papers now that Kane is saying this is fraught. This could be
I don't know anyone
and
who doesn't feel that way. No one in the Pentagon. I've talked to a bunch of people in the Pentagon. We don't have the munitions for this, okay? And this has, again, been reported publicly. This is not secret. It is a fact, and this is the analysis of the Pentagon, that if this war goes 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, the United States will not have enough munitions to wage a major war for 10 years. Okay? No war with a peer or near peer nation for 10 years, because we don't have the industrial capacity to replace those munitions. We've already expended so many of them in defense of Israel in the last 12 months.
In Ukraine.
And in Ukraine. So it's like, there's no way that this helps the United States. We're not in a place to do it. I strongly think the president understands that. Certainly, there's no one that let me just be blunt. There's no one I'm aware of in this administration who is aggressively pushing for this war. All of the pressure is coming from Netanyahu. It's why he went to the White House 7 times in 1 year. It wasn't to be nice. It was to push for regime change in Iran. I'm not attacking him. That's not anti-Semitic. It's not even anti-Israel. It's an acknowledgement of the truth. And no matter what you slander people with, in the end, the truth remains true. Sorry. And so they want this. The only reason we would do it.
But not just him, his rabidly neocon friends here, like Mark Levin, like Lindsey Graham. I mean, there really is a bloodlust by some here domestically who do have the ear of the president to take out this regime as though it's going to be as easy as the Maduro raid.
Well, but everyone, look, this is, again, a country of 92 million people that has been under sanctions since 1979. It is an enormous country. It's the oldest civilization in the world, and they have a huge non-nuclear arsenal of ballistic missiles. Huge. It's the estimates of this are publicly available. You could bore yourself all day reading about it. This is a very serious thing. When we invaded Iraq in 2003, almost exactly 33 years ago, that country had 25 million people, and it was 1/6 the size of Iran. And we were there for 20 years, and we never fully pacified it. This is a country of 92 million people. And like, reality matters, actually. Like, the number of people who live in your country, the armaments they possess, its landmass. These are relevant facts for people who plan wars, and they help determine the outcomes of those wars and occupations. So this is pure insanity. And what people like Levin, whom I'm not attacking, I feel sorry for, because he's clearly living in hell, but what they're trying to do is a species of witchcraft. And it's really simple. You repeat something until it becomes true. Khomeini must die. We're going into war. We're going to knock off the government. This is good for us. Anyone who's against it is an anti-Semite, a Nazi, should be expelled. Benedict Arnold, not allowed in the White House. You keep repeating things that are untrue until they become true. You speak, you create truth by speaking. In the beginning was the word, right? There's a holy power, there's a supernatural power in words. Describing things is different from simply doing them. And if you can talk reality into being. This is what an incantation is. It's what a spell is. It's not like spooky, like crazy stuff. It's the lived reality of every person. Say it and it becomes true. And that's exactly what they're trying to do. And nobody is making the case for how does this help the United States? How does this make us richer, safer, happier? Zero. And my concern is if this actually happens, and it's likely to, what then?
International disputes, inflation, rising national debt, digital currency. There's a never-ending list of reasons gold has risen over 700% in the last 20 years. And a never-ending list of reasons smart Americans diversify a portion of their savings into precious metals with Birch Gold Group. Gold can thrive during uncertainty, which is why it's a crucial part of a balanced financial strategy. It gives you peace of mind, given all the events that could impact the U.S. economy. See if holding gold in a tax-sheltered retirement account is right for you. Birch Gold can help you convert an existing IRA or 401k into an IRA in gold. Just text MK to the number 989898 to receive your free info kit on gold. There's no obligation, just useful information. With an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau and tens of thousands of happy customers, consider letting Birch Gold help you diversify with gold so you too can have peace of mind, regardless of the uncertainty. Text MK to the number 989898. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.